Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about how artificial intelligence is shaking up one of the world's oldest professions, the law. But, this isn't some sci-fi story about robot lawyers in a courtroom. It's a much quieter and honestly a much more interesting revolution that's happening right now behind the scenes.
Okay, so first up, the new legal assistant. To really get our heads around the impact AI is having, we've got to start not with the tech, but with a simple question about what lawyers actually do all day.
So just think about it for a second. When you picture what a lawyer does, what's the first thing that comes to mind? Is it them giving some big dramatic speech to a jury like you see in the movies? Or is it something else? Something that really eats up the hours and, let's be real, the client's money?
Yeah, spoiler alert, it is definitely not arguing in court. I mean, that stuff makes for great TV, but the reality, it's way less glamorous. The real bulk of a lawyer's work, the actual grind, happens long before anyone even thinks about stepping in front of a judge. It's all buried in an absolute mountain of documents.
Yep, it's those thousands and thousands of hours spent on the really repetitive, data-heavy stuff. We're talking document review, legal research, analysis, all of that. And this is exactly where this new kind of assistant, one powered by AI, is sparking that quiet revolution we mentioned.
All right, so how in the world do you teach a computer to think like a lawyer? It might sound like crazy science fiction, but it's really not magic. It's a process built on a couple of core ideas that are, believe it or not, pretty intuitive.
So first, you've got the big umbrella term, artificial intelligence, or AI. Really, all this means is creating computer programs that can do tasks that, normally need a human brain. Things like recognizing what's in a photo or making decisions based on a bunch of information. Now, inside of AI, we get a little more specific with something called machine learning. And this is where things get really, really cool. Because instead of a programmer having to write a rule for every single possible outcome, the software uses algorithms to learn directly from the data. It literally gets smarter and more accurate, all on its own, just by doing.
The easiest way to think about this is what we're calling the panda versus koala method. It's basically like teaching a toddler, right? You don't give a kid a textbook definition of a panda. You just show them a picture and say, that's a panda. Then another, panda. Then you show them a koala. After enough examples, their brain just kind of figures out the patterns on its own. Well, an AI does the exact same thing, just with millions of data points and at lightning speed.
Okay, next up, AI on the job. Let's see how these ideas actually turn into real-world tools that are completely changing how legal work gets done.
It turns out, AI is an absolute beast at what you might call search and find tasks. I'm talking about sifting through millions of pages of documents for a big lawsuit, analyzing contracts to find one very specific clause, or even predicting how a case might turn out. This is the kind of stuff that would take a whole team of human lawyers hundreds or even thousands of hours to do. And to put that into perspective, check out this number. JP Morgan revealed that it took them 360,000 hours of lawyer and paralegal time to manually review a set of commercial loan agreements. 360,000 hours. Now, with an AI program, that same massive task can be done in a matter of seconds. I mean, just let that sink in. This isn't just a small improvement. It's a complete paradigm shift. It's a total game changer.
And look, this tech isn't just for giant corporations. It's also empowering everyday people. There's an AI-powered chatbot called Do Not Pay. And in its first 21 months, it successfully helped users win over 160,000 parking ticket cases. So this power is becoming accessible to pretty much everyone.
So this incredible power obviously leads to the huge, and for some people, pretty scary question, human versus machine. If a machine can do in seconds what takes a human thousands of hours, does that mean the lawyer is being replaced? Are human lawyers going extinct?
Well, the answer seems to be no. It's less about replacement and more about a new kind of partnership. See, the AI takes over all the mechanical, data-crunching tasks. That frees up the human lawyer to focus on what machines can't do, advising a nervous client, negotiating a tense deal, or coming up with a creative, persuasive argument in front of a jury. Those are uniquely human skills. And if you look at the numbers, they kind of back this up. Studies from firms like McKinsey and Deloitte estimate that somewhere around 23 to maybe 39% of a lawyer's tasks can be automated. But flip that around. That means the majority of the job still requires those human skills. So the job isn't disappearing, it's just shifting its focus. But here's what is disappearing, or as Ron Dolan from Harvard Law puts it, is doomed.
The old business model. The days of law firms billing clients a fortune for an army of junior lawyers to manually review documents for hundreds of hours? Yeah, those days are numbered. AI is forcing the entire economic structure of law firms to change.
And that brings us to our final section, a profession transformed. This is about the new rules of law, because this quiet revolution isn't just about making things faster. It's fundamentally rewriting what it even means to be a competent lawyer here in the 21st century.
Check this out. The American Bar Association, which sets the ethical rules for lawyers, has officially updated its definition of what it means to be a competent lawyer. It now includes keeping up with technology. This isn't just a friendly suggestion. In over half the country, it's an ethical duty. Lawyers in Florida even have to take technology training. And get this, failing to use common tech could now be grounds for a malpractice claim. It is a whole new ballgame.
And all this really leads to the biggest change of all. The entire profession is shifting from a model based on hours billed to one based on value delivered. Think about that. It's not about how long a task took anymore. It's about the result. It's about the outcome. And ultimately, that's way better for everyone, especially the client. So, we'll leave you with this question to chew on. As AI gets smarter and smarter at finding the what in the law, the facts, the precedents, all the data, what part of legal advice is going to be uniquely human? You know, maybe a lawyer's most important job won't be about just knowing everything anymore. Maybe it will be about wisdom and judgment and strategy and just understanding people. It's funny, but in the age of AI, the future of law might just end up being more human than ever before.